In the mid to upper 60s, your whole forecast in just a few minutes. Here's Decades of Dollars.
In-depth, investigative coverage of today's biggest stories. This is KARK 4 News at 10 in high definition.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Bob Clausen. We're going to update you on those Decades of Dollars numbers in just a little while.
Indeed we will, and I'm Jessica Dean. Good to have you with us tonight. 3 women now facing third-degree battery charges after a fraternity party fight in Conway on December 1st.
Miranda Gaines, Farron Mason, Alexandra Malone turning themselves into Conway police after being caught on tape beating another female party guest. The 3 were released today shortly after being taken into custody and are now set to appear in court January 3rd.
The fight caught on tape. Since then, it's prompted more restrictions for University of Central Arkansas students.
KARK4's Marcy Manley joining us now with more on this. And Marcy, what are the new rules and what do they aim to accomplish?
Well, Bob, the brawl that broke out during that Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity party has UCA higher-ups hoping that new policies on the books will create more accountability among students and actually give campus officials more control.
When these instances happen, we have to review and take steps to make sure it doesn't happen again, and that's what we're going to do.
This frat function turned fight club causing University of Central Arkansas students and staff to self-reflect.
The tape was quite telling, and I think it was embarrassing for our students.
The day after this video of an Alpha Phi Alpha soiree smackdown surfaced, UCA President Tom Courtway ordering a top-to-bottom review of the Greek system, resulting in a packet of policy changes from Student Services Vice President Ronnie Williams.
We think we can do more.
The alterations include a campus police presence at all off-campus social events, a limit on the number of guests in attendance, and accountability for students inviting friends outside the UCA umbrella who show up to throw down by adding them to a list and forcing them to fork over a name, phone number, and email address, plus showing a scannable student ID.
It does force them to do a little bit extra work to provide us with information that will help us and them evaluate these students to determine if they really need to be a guest or not.
Which may not be a bad idea, considering 2 of the 3 women arrested on Monday for ganging up on another party goer weren't even UCA students.
Many of those students were not UCA students. Most of the public does not understand that, but it was our event.
Many of the policy changes just seem like common sense, providing for security, requesting a debriefing report be filed with Student Services, and a pre-approved guest list. But this process will likely lead to a new annual review of policy progress.
It's something that we should have done before, but sometimes you don't think about those things until you have the kinds of situations that we've seen.
Now, the university does have a protocol for doling out penalties for these kinds of situations when social organizations are involved in violent activities, and that could include immediate suspension from campus. Now, the fraternities that were involved in some of these recent debacles on campus, or in off-campus situations rather, they're undergoing a judicial review process. Their fates haven't been decided as those inquiries are ongoing. Jessica, back to you.
All right, Marcy, thanks so much. Tonight, 5 computers missing from a Central Arkansas school, and Pulaski County deputies need you to help them find out just who stole them. This morning, officials at Mills High School noticed 5 new Mac computers valued at over $12,000 were missing. They also discovered a broken window and an opened door in the back of campus. Security cameras didn't catch the suspects because those cameras had been turned off before this weekend's burglary. If you know anything about this case, you're asked to call police.
Now to a KARK4 News update for you. Meat processing workers in Northwest Arkansas back at work tonight. The Springdale Cargill meat plant laid off 130 workers after a salmonella recall cut production back in October. But after reaching an agreement with the USDA for an enhanced food safety plan, 50 workers back on the production line. Today's announcement is just part of the company's plan to increase production.
Now to other stories making headlines tonight. A store in the capital city robbed, and police think the robber could be responsible for several holdups around town. The latest happened at this Dollar General store on 65th Street just after 3 today. Meanwhile, Little Rock police have named 3 suspects they say are to blame for a string of local crimes, including that one we just mentioned. Police are looking for Eddie McClendon and Brandon Goodlow. Officers arrested Alvin Akins late this afternoon and are now asking if you know where McClendon and Goodlow are, please call police.
A man believed to be behind a wild shooting spree in Pine Bluff Friday was before a judge for the first time on Monday. Courtney Lou is facing 22 felony counts, including capital murder. He is being held without bond, but police say his rampage was likely caused by a relatively new and very dangerous drug. Police say Lewis's behavior was consistent with someone on a drug called wet. It's a combination of PCP, angel dust, and cocaine. Police say suspects on it can be almost superhuman, oblivious to pain, and aggressive. The drug, they can be attributed to several murders and violent crimes in the past few months, they say.
It's just one of the worst things that a police officer or anybody can come into contact with.
Police say it's unclear where the combo drug is coming from, but they say they want it off the street.
The question of personhood could be headed to Arkansas voters. Personhood Arkansas submitted an amendment to the Attorney General's office in hopes of getting that issue on the 2012 ballot. The amendment would, quote, guarantee the right to life of every human being, no matter their age. The Attorney General's office will now decide whether to approve the amendment's language. If it is approved, Personhood Arkansas would have to gather just over 78,000 signatures by July to get their amendment on the ballot in November. Former President and Arkansas native Bill Clinton back in the natural state today with his newest book, Back to Work. Hundreds lined up at Barnes & Noble in West Little Rock starting at 8 a.m. More than 500 people got their book signed. And in addition to shaking hands and taking photos with people, Clinton discussed the passing of North Korea's longtime Kim Jong-il, the race for the Republican presidential nomination, and the nation's economy.
And the first part of the book is to say, okay, here we are. Now what do we do? The point of the second part of the book is to say we can get out of this, and we can get out of this faster than countries historically have. Because when you have a financial meltdown, it takes most countries 10 years to return to full employment.
The former commander-in-chief also handed out 3 military service medals during his stop in Little Rock.
Hopefully you didn't have to battle your way through the crowds at the post office. Today and tomorrow expected to be the busiest mailing days of the year, understandably. In Little Rock alone, more than 500,000 pieces of mail will be processed. Aside from the stress associated with the holiday season, patrons of several post offices here in Arkansas are concerned about their future shipping needs. This particular branch in Otter Creek could be on the chopping block as the United States Postal Service tries to weather an uncertain economic future. Of course, not very festive news for these last-minute mailers.
I don't like that at all. I use it a lot, and I mail my grandmother, who's 84, all of her stuff too, so it's very convenient.
The Postal Service has agreed to a 5-month moratorium on these closures, which could give Congress more time to come up with a plan to reform the system rather than make all those cuts.
Now from KARK4, your weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan.
After a dry weekend, we saw clouds increase across the area today in advance of a storm system that is now have rain pretty close to Little Rock, just off to our west right now. Those areas of rain and a few isolated thunderstorms continue to move off to the northwest at about 20 miles per hour. And we're going to skip right by that. Let me just reset that real quick. Right now, the heaviest precipitation is just off to our north along the northern border with Missouri. And that area of showers and a few isolated thunderstorms will continue to move eastward as we head through the rest of the evening hours on into early tomorrow morning. You seem to be having trouble with that. I'll get back to that in just a couple of seconds. But first of all, let's take a look at our numbers across the area today. In Little Rock, our high temperature topped out at 60 degrees. Our low this morning was 45. Averages are 51 and 33. And no rainfall yet, but there are showers and thunderstorms. We keep popping them in. They will be moving eastward as we head through the nighttime hours tonight. Cloudy right now in Little Rock. Nice view of the Capitol, all decked out for Christmas. Current temperature is 51 degrees. Humidity is at 77%. Winds are southeast at 9 and the barometer 29.97 and falling with that area of low pressure and cold front approaching from the west. Right now, temperatures have cooled off a bit in northwest Arkansas, where they're seeing some rain up in Harrison. It's 45 over at Fayetteville as well. 52 right now up at Clinton. It's 52 at Hope and currently 49 degrees in Pine Bluff. Plenty of clouds across the state today, although we did see a few peaks of sunshine that helped boost temperatures up just a little bit. But you can see those areas of rain and thunderstorms moving eastward, and the individual cells are moving off to the northeast, but the actual lines are moving toward the east. So just about everybody is going to see some shower and thunderstorm activity as we head through the night tonight, as a very powerful area of low pressure located over central and eastern Kansas begins lifting off to the east-northeast. Now, on the cold side of that low, the west side, there's blizzard conditions across western Kansas and the southeastern Colorado. If you have any travel plans by road out there, it's going to be a rough go. They're expecting anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow with winds as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour. But conditions will improve during the day tomorrow, not only out in the plains, but around here. We're going to watch that low move to the northeast. We may see a couple of showers tomorrow morning, a few breaks in the cloud around noontime. And then on the backside of that low, may see some isolated showers late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. High pressure builds in tomorrow night, and for Wednesday, that'll dry us out. Also cool us off just a little bit. And they're going to watch an area of low pressure and a cold front that'll be sweeping southeastward by Thursday morning, and that'll give us a chance of a few areas of rain, a couple of thunderstorms, and then colder temperatures as we head toward Friday and Saturday, as well as Christmas Day. 49 tonight, rising temperatures after midnight, though, 90% chance of rain. Tomorrow, a couple of morning showers, a couple of late afternoon showers, a mild day, though, with a high of 67. Next 7 days will show those temperatures falling off closer to normal for this time of year. Wednesday and Thursday in the low 50s, 60% chance of rain Thursday. Friday, a couple of showers, and then as that Canadian cold front moves through, perhaps a few of those showers may change over to a couple of snow flurries for Friday night. Not looking for a big storm, though, but it's going to feel like Christmas, though, on Christmas Day with high temperatures in the mid-40s after starting when you open those gifts in the upper 20s. You can get our forecast when you're driving around. Kissin' 96.
67 tomorrow.
67 tomorrow, but then you're going to need your jackets as you head toward Christmas, which it should feel like Christmas. Winter starts Wednesday at 11:30 p.m.
So it should get here.
It should get here, and it might feel like it this weekend.
That'd be fun.
Keith, thanks very
Okay.
much. Well, I've got some good news to pass along to you as you're getting ready for bed. If you're not all snug as a, what is it?
Bug
Snug
in
as
a rug.
Exactly. Following up on a KRK investigation, man's best friend back home tonight. Last night we told you about Margaret Ziegler, who says her dog Spencer, the poodle, had been returned safely after being stolen last Friday.
Ziegler says pressure from our news story and from police probably scared those suspects to returning her precious poodle.
Back home now, which
Good
is
to
great
have her
news.
back home.
Absolutely. Still ahead, money matters. An Arkansas congressman speaks out on the payroll tax cut debate, how you'll be affected if it doesn't pass. Plus,
we reiterate our hope for improved relations with the people of North Korea and remain deeply concerned about their well-being.
The death of Kim Jong-il caught the world by surprise. Who's taking power now in North Korea? That's in just 60 seconds.
This is KARK 4 News at 10 in high definition with Bob Clausen, Jessica Dean, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, and Sports with Carrie O'Hara.